Well, here's a question for you. Are you happy? That's a loaded question because daily moods and events can alter the answer. But if you step back and look at your overall well-being, your health, your wealth, your relationships, are you on the path that supports the kind of life you actually want to live? Our next guest system hones in on those three areas with specific steps and guidance to get you where you want to be. It's called Freedomology, and we've got the founder, Greg Clement, on via Zoom this morning to share more. Hi, Greg. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm well. Let's start with your inspiration. Freedomology, great name. How did you start this? A personal journey shaped this all?
Yeah, so Freedomology, I've grown up in the technology and sort of coaching space the last 20 years, and we've gotten really good at helping people grow their net worths. I've coached entrepreneurs and helped them scale their businesses. And in 2012, so a little over 10, 12 years ago, I was running a mastermind group of, high achievers and people who were financially successful. But as I looked around the room, I realized that in every one of their lives, something was missing. Like they felt like, happiness was this external thing and they were trying to find it and figure out, whether money would make them happy or more stuff or more travel, more experiences. And so I had this idea on basically helping people live at the intersection of health, great health, financial freedom, and then great relationships. And it's that sort of convergence of those three big areas that I think gives us the surest path to, attain that deep happiness a lot of us are after, for sure.
So you're definitely dealing with people who on the exterior we would assume are put together, but they're highly successful people, but that fulfillment, that happiness inside is what's missing. Talk about that Am I Happy documentary. This would be a great introductory for people to learn more about it.
Yeah, it's a pretty exciting project we're nearing the end on. So over the past 6 years, we've been working on a movie called Am I Happy? And it started in 2018. So I live in Northeast Ohio. I hopped on a plane. I flew to Salt Lake City, Utah. I bought a motorcycle, and I proceeded to ride it back across the United States off-road. So up and over the Rocky Mountains, in and out of all these little mountain towns. And so on this trail, it's called the Trans-American Trail, this off-road sort of the cyclist's dream. In 2,667 miles. And I was about halfway through the trip. I'm ready to give up. I'm on day 6, and I wiped out in the red dirt of Oklahoma for the second time that day. And I remember, like in my head, like I was moving in and out of happiness dozens of times throughout the day. I mean, when you're in nature like that, and you're in the Rockies and you're climbing mountains, it's you have these moments of serendipity, right? Where you're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. You feel the emotion of happiness. And then in the next 10 minutes, you're so uncomfortable because it's so hard what you're doing that you move in and out of this happiness. And so I struggled with that on that trip a ton until I met this guy who was pulling his wife in a Jeep, who was dying of cancer through the same trail that I wanted to quit. And this guy, his name was Thomas. He was happy. His wife was happy. And they had just retired, and they had their lifelong dream to do this trip. So when she got cancer, they basically said, okay, the trip is off until they realized they could still do it. He actually mounted oxygen tanks to the inside of a trailer in a hospital bed, and he was pulling her through the Trans-American Trail. And I got home from that trip, and it was like this epiphany that so many of us try to find happiness, like in our health. Right? We think by looking or feeling better, we're going to find happiness. We try to find happiness in our money. We think more money, more success, more freedom is going to make us happy. We try to find happiness in love, right? We try to find that right person that's going to make us happy. And I think that led to the creation of this movie, Am I Happy? And we've spoken to doctors, to neuroscientists, PhDs in philosophy, to dietitians, nutritionists. We've spoken to rich people, poor people, young people, old people. And we really honed in on that question, am I happy? And I think it's powerful to actually back up a second real quick. And I think for most people, the thing they struggle with initially is, am I enough? Like, am I good enough? Am I smart enough? I mean, even before we get to that happy question, it's like, am I enough? Right? The world is so noisy. It's so good at showing us what we think happiness is, but it's really not that at all. So it's the documentary is this journey that helps people sort of experience, or answer this question of exactly what happiness is, and more importantly, how to activate it in their life. So we're super excited to be able to release this late summer this year.
And we're looking forward to watching it. Obviously, sometimes it comes down to a matter of perspective. Am I happy? It's a question that quite possibly could be answered with this documentary. Take a look at it this summer. Freedomology.com. If you want to take a sneak peek, maybe get something in your brains before it hits the big screens, you can check out their website. Greg, thank you so much for the time this morning.
Perfect. Thank you.